Chief David Harkins to introduce our keynote speaker.
Thanks, Mike. Before I call up our keynote speaker, it's important, I want to recognize someone that's joined us tonight. We're honored to have him. I want to recognize Atlantic City Police Officer Josh Bedell. If you don't know Josh or who he is, Josh suffered a catastrophic injury in the line of duty on September 3rd, 2016. Officer Bedell was shot in the head during a robbery investigation at the Caesars Atlantic City parking garage. But he's not done serving us in law enforcement. He now travels the country. He travels all over New Jersey. I've seen him, and if you have the opportunity to hear his story, I highly recommend it. He goes around and tells cops how he survives every day and finds a reason to do good for his family, and how we can be resilient. So Josh, if you please stand and be recognized by this body for a real hero, Officer Josh Bedell. Thank you. Which brings me to our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker, Deputy Chief Bill Mazur from the Atlantic City Police Department. He's been retired. Bill and I have been friends. We think it's about 20 years we crossed paths. We think we were both sergeants, both SWAT team guys, and that's where we first began training together. And as most cops will tell you, when you get to know someone, you know you hit it off with somebody who's right in line with the way you think and whatnot. So Bill and I have always hit it off. He's the utmost professional. Here's his official biography. He's a 25-year law enforcement veteran and who retired in 2017 at the rank of Deputy Chief from the Atlantic City Police Department. He holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Stockton University and a master's degree in police graduate studies program from Seton Hall University. Bill's a graduate of the FBI National Academy, session number 256. He serves as a master instructor at the FBI National Academy Associates in their comprehensive officer resiliency training program. He also acts as a liaison for New Jersey State Resiliency Program for law enforcement and for the New Jersey State Chiefs of Police. Bill is now a senior public safety officer with Acadia Healthcare's first responder team, where he provides specialized treatment, guidance for public safety personnel, first responders, and their families who may find themselves in personal crisis because of mental health or substance abuse disorders. I can personally tell you that whenever, as a chief and as an officer coming through, whenever we have an issue or we know of an issue or another chief has an issue with an officer who needs help, Bill is the first person that we call. He's one of the reasons I asked to be here tonight, to pass on his message of helping cops, helping first responders get through tough times. There's no one finer. I'd ask Deputy Chief Bill Mazur to please join me at the podium. Bill?
Thank you so much for that acknowledgement, first of all, of my colleague Josh. I got to tell you, this is the first time I've ever walked into a room where it was filled with cops and I was wearing a blazer and felt underdressed. So you guys look great tonight. Amazing. The staff here, give them a round of applause, right? Amazing food. Everyone looks lovely. The chandelier, and I couldn't help but think, all this for Dave Harkins? Are you people bored? What's going on here? Anyway, now as Dave mentioned, we started our bromance back in the early 2000s, being, I guess, SWAT guys. And I have a vivid memory of this. We were at some SWAT training somewhere, and I noticed him handsome guy he is, full of energy, right? Positive, right? You with me on this? Full of energy, positive, talking about stuff. And I couldn't help but think, man, what a tactical nerd. And I knew I would get along with him at that moment because I'm a self-proclaimed tactical nerd too. So anyhow, I appreciate him asking me to be here. He keeps saying keynote speech. I'm going to roast the hell out of him while I'm up here. I don't know what he thinks. But anyhow, to be serious, I've leaned on Dave for advice over my career, and he's done the same. Although we don't see each other all the time, we talk regularly. And I always depended on him. In fact, just today, we were talking earlier, and I guess he sort of felt that I was feeling a little down about Atlantic City. Deep roots there, as Dave mentioned, 25 years on the job, second generation police officer. My father did 40 years on the job, my brother was on the job. So I have an affinity for all things Atlantic City. So I guess, there's politics going on, there's things happening, ups and downs, and I guess Dave noticed that I wasn't too high on Atlantic City right now. And he said, Bill, I think I have just the thing that could help you. And I said, well, what is it, brother? And he said, I think on your way up here tonight, you should just drive through Camden and you'll feel much better about Atlantic City. And I gotta tell you, damn if he wasn't right. I am so optimistic about Atlantic City. In fact, I would encourage all of you to go vacation there. And if you go there and you use code BillLovesAC, you'll get 20% off all your purchases. All right, let me get serious for a second here. I think what's appropriate for this, first of all, I would never be so presumptuous to come to an event like this, stand before a group of leaders and teach you about leadership. That's not what I'm going to do. What I will share with you is a little bit of personal experience and my definition of leadership and how it's grown. So I think most of us in this room, a good portion of us, we're kind of the same age-ish, right? And I think that we've all sort of been acclimated to that definition of leadership that includes stoicism and warrior mentality and being able to make decisions under pressure and all those type of traditional warrior ethos type things for leadership. And while they exist and I believe in them wholeheartedly, my definition of leadership has definitely expanded since I left the police department, retired in 2017. As Dave mentioned, I was recruited to Acadia Healthcare, where I was asked to co-found a first responder outreach team. And basically what we do is we provide culturally competent, vetted resources for mental health, trauma, PTS, for military and first responder families. So we do that all over the country, and we've been able to help thousands of people over the last 8 years. So going back to my leadership comment, what I would submit to you is that the way my definition, personally, it's my personal opinion, how my definition has expanded, and I've seen this time and time again, I base this expansion of my definition on the experience, the lived experience that I've had over the last 8 years. This isn't my theory, this isn't just something I thought up, it's from seeing this happen in real life in real time. And basically what that means is the definition of leadership is inclusive of all those things that I mentioned, but it also includes for me empathy and compassion and being there for somebody that's in a dark moment. It's pretty cool. I had 3 or 4 people come up to me tonight that I never met before, and they said, hey man, you helped one of my guys or one of my people. That's, the greatest compliment you could ever get, in my opinion. So I really enjoy doing that. And listen, I wouldn't be able to stand in front of a group like you all if I didn't have that 25-year career in Atlantic City that gave me the credibility to speak about the things that I speak about. So I'm not a clinician, nor do I purport to be one. I'm not a doctor. I'm not psychoanalyzing anybody or diagnosing anybody, but what I am doing, I'm seeing these stories over and over again across the country. I think we have a pretty good beat on what's going on. In the last 8 years, we helped over 8,000 first responders. That's over 1,000 a year across the country. It's not just in New Jersey. I've helped hundreds and hundreds in just New Jersey alone over the last 8 years. And so the point I'm trying to get to is I have seen the difference in organizations that are supportive of their people getting help. It does not make you softer. It does not give people free passes to screw up, because I will say this too, I'm a rule guy. Rules and regulations are necessary. Policies are good things. You have to do that. You have to have them, or there'd be anarchy, right? But it shouldn't stop you from addressing it and coming at it from an angle with compassion. So we say that we invented this term. I don't know if we did. I think we did, because I never heard anybody else use it. It's compassionate accountability. What that simply means is, for chiefs and administrators in the room, even though a person has perhaps violated a rule or a regulation, maybe there's even some discipline hanging over their head, it should not stop you from trying to get them help. Because what I can tell you is, even when an officer or a first responder has a disciplinary issue hanging over their head, but they're supported by their agency, they get well. It's the bottom line. Those are the outcomes that we see all the time. Now look, sometimes the discipline is so great that there's nothing you can do with it, and that's unfortunate. But it still shouldn't stop you from providing a straight line to a resource, because I can tell you, and I don't know how many of you experienced this, but in AC, in my tenure, we experienced a number of suicides. And what they can do to a department, if you don't already know, is just debilitating. So what I can say to you, because I get to see the outcomes all the time, the people who are supported by their leadership generally have not just better outcomes, but significantly better outcomes. I'll tell you what I mean by that. I have had hundreds, literally hundreds of clients go to get treatment, and a lot of it, by the way, is centered around trauma, work-related trauma. Some of it's substance use, that's a co-occurring addition from the trauma, but almost to a person, they all have significant trauma. So I've seen people go and get help that were in a really dark place, about to lose their life, their career, their families, come back from treatment, stay on the path, go back to their departments and get promoted once, twice, 3 times. I even have some clients who are chiefs that got treated as a detective or a sergeant. So this works, not because I say it works. I get to see the outcomes all the time. And what I can tell you is this, that, in my opinion, is a legacy worth leaving, right? And there's a number of chiefs in this room that I've had personal conversations with. I just met one tonight who I plan on helping. The fulfillment you get out of this is incredible. And here's the other thing, okay? This is the elephant in the room. The whole department, the whole organization is looking at how you treated the last person. It's just the reality of it. It's probably not a news flash for you. You probably understand that really well, but it's just a reminder. Everyone should be treated the same. Everyone should get that opportunity. And if I could ever be of assistance to any of you, I mean that. This isn't just making small talk in my roast of Dave. I am serious. Please do not hesitate to call me. I work with hundreds of departments in New Jersey alone and thousands across the country. We are available. I'm not a crisis line. I'm not 24 hours a day, but there are many nights where I'm on the phone at 9 or 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday, but that's part of our job. That's what we do. We are there to help. So I want you to enjoy your dinner. I mean it. Please reach out to me. It gives me such great fulfillment to do, and I love when we're able to get somebody help, and then the chief was like, hey man, thanks. Here's the reality of it. You're not really supposed to have all the answers as a chief. I mean, I know people think you do, but you really don't. And especially in this space, you don't do this every day, so you're not supposed to be an expert at it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. This is simple stuff when you do it. I know how to connect the resources, and I will get you those resources. I'll close by saying thank you. I'm humbled by doing this, and I know the Camden County Chiefs Association is in excellent hands. My buddy Dave. Thank you.